our children, they really do want to live in alignment. They really do want to do what's best. But sometimes they've been hurt too much. They've had a lot of abuse. They need to heal, and they're in a place where they have this vulnerability, and they're in this space where they need some kindness. They need some space to figure it out. They don't need us catering to them. They don't need us buying them off or doing things because of guilt. They need our alignment. They need our awareness. They need our truth. Excuse me. And they need our love and our guidance. And they need space. So sometimes it can be hard. I've observed as a mother, it can be hard to give your children that space and to really, have a gentle way to speak your truth and then let go and let them choose. But I assure you, if you can learn to shift the way you're doing things, if you can unlearn, let's say, the need to control, the need to fight, the need to force and make it happen, the need to punish. Like, we have such a need to punish in our society. And it came from a lot of woundedness that we had projected on each of us. And I, from my observation, I have not seen punishment really working. I feel that if we would start reaching out to each other with love, if we would start connecting with truth and speak our truth and really give the space that's needed for that human to shift, we will see a lot of beautiful shifts happen. So it's something I encourage in each of us to just be aware of that with our children, our parenting child connections. Is there anybody writing in with any questions? Because if anyone wants to call in or write in with anything going on, maybe something that you're feeling about loss of a parent, or as a parent, situations or stressful things you deal with your children that you're curious how to handle or deal with differently, give us a call and let us know. Is there anything, Amnon?
Yeah, first of all, your video just dropped out.
I saw that just like a second ago. Let's see if we get that back on. There, is that better?
Okay.
Yeah, right then I'm like, ooh, where'd I go?
Just leave it there. It'll probably...
He'll come back.
Okay.
There it is. Okay, now. Kathy's asking.
Okay.
How does overcompensating for what you didn't get as a child harm your child?
Okay. That's a really great question, because if we're overgiving because we felt we didn't give, we can honestly, we're basically in an energy of feeling like there's guilt or shame, so we're trying to overgive because of that. And what happens is, if we're overgiving, meaning overgiving isn't really a such thing as like, oh, I can't love someone too much, but if I say I have a child and I felt that I didn't get certain things, and so I just got to give her all those things, but she's not really in a space of appreciation, or she's, maybe kind of being a pain and being stubborn, or not really listening to the respectful alignment that we would like in the house, and then we just give her some prizes anyways, or, she's throwing a tantrum and you give her that candy bar because you never got a candy bar. That can be the worst thing you can do for your child, actually, because it's all circumstantial. You got to look at your intention, and you got to look at your alignment in the now, because really, it's really a difficult thing to just judge everything and say, this is the solution of this. But I can say simply that the solution, without being too complicated on what the situation is always alignment. So if you feel in a heartfelt space of giving, and you just feel, I just want to give to this person, give, because that is alignment. And that's you listening to that heartfelt desire to give. Give because you truly want to, not because you think you have to or you should. Don't give and then expect something, because that gets us in trouble. I'll give her this, and then she's going to do this chore for me. And then when she doesn't want to do the chore, you're pissed. And then you throw that back as a guilt. And so we got to really look into our intentions, because sometimes we try to buy people. Buying people is not cool. It's not healthy for the soul. So if we're giving in that intention of, I need to give because something's out of balance, I need to give because my kid's mad at me and I want to make it up to her, even though she was really out of alignment, but I feel guilty. So now I'm overthinking it. Now I go give her a present. What it does is, in essence, it's teaching them not to respect you. And it's teaching them not to trust you, because children are very much listening and looking for alignment. I like to make the reference of, like, with dogs. A dog, if you look at dogs, if you studied much about dogs, they have this pack mentality, and dogs will naturally find an order amongst each other. They'll establish who is the alpha leader, and if they sense that that alpha leader is off or injured or something's going on, the pack will start to figure out and establish who is going to be the new leader. So children are very much like that. And a lot of times when I see parents, like mothers that are freaked out, and they have sometimes, honestly, I'm just going to say it and I might piss some of you off, but sometimes they have way too many children. It's like they just kept having babies, more from like an addiction than from actual awareness and love. And that's something we need to look into. That's a whole nother show. But really having children and mindfully creating and thinking it through. What are you going to do after you create that? It's like people get a puppy and then they don't think about all the work that's going to be involved. And then they neglect that puppy because they just wanted a cute puppy. And it was really from their needy emptiness that they wanted the puppy in the first place. So we need to be mindful about that. I just totally went on a whole other tangent there. But anyway, basically, children are a lot like animals when it comes to that. Like little children, they're looking for the leadership, they're sensing it. They can feel if mom's little timid voice, oh, stop doing that, honey, be nice. It's weak and it's not strong and it doesn't feel like it's truthfully certain of itself. Those children are running all over her. If mom says, no, don't do that, or I'm not going to give you your chips for lunch, or I'm not going to give you a cookie, and then the kid does it, and then later the mom just gives him a cookie, that kid learns, don't respect her. She doesn't mean what she says, and she doesn't say what she means. She's unstable, she's inconsistent, she is not the alpha leader, so I'm going to lead her. So a lot of times people don't realize that the children acting crazy and taking over the house comes from the parent not being in their aligned role. So if that mother or father is really in their alignment, they are leaders. They actually show their children safety because their own awareness and alignment, they stand their ground. That child respects that parent then because they're like, oh, okay, dad just said that. And it was pretty serious. It's kind of like a dog when it's out of alignment and that dog growling and showing its teeth and the other dog's kind of cowering down. It's learning like, okay, I gotcha. And I feel especially mothers need to learn this because dads typically are pretty good at it. They can have that, serious, deep dad voice, and the kid's like, ooh, crap, like, I'm not going to do that. And mothers have great intentions, but this is where our balance needs to come in. Mothers have that nurturing, compassionate, giving side, but they don't balance it with that masculine side. And when they don't, that child takes a mile. You give them an inch, they take a mile. And it's not their fault. It's actually the mother that needs to shift and come into her alignment. And not the mother's fault either. Let's not even look at blame. It's just awareness. If that mother is in her alignment and she's not needy for anything, I think one of the biggest issues with parent-children situations is a lot of parents, adults, have babies before they've done their own healing. And this is pretty common. It's partly how we even heal. But what happens is if you're a parent, a mother or a father, and you haven't done your healing work from your inner child woundedness, then you have children. You still have that neediness inside of you. So sometimes as a parent, you are emotionally draining your child because you're so needy for their love or you're needy for their approval. It's something I had to really watch when I was raising them, because I realized I had that neediness in me. And I had to address that and realize, whoa, I don't need to project that on my children. So I really started to give them their space. I would be there for them, but I wasn't needing something from them. And it's so much better. Like, I have teenagers now, and sometimes they just surprise me. Like, they show up, bring me flowers, sweet, do nice things, totally come and connect with me. And other times it's like I'm invisible. And if I had that neediness, those are days that I'm going to suffer if I really feel I need it. And I've had to really watch that we really keep that in balance, and that we are in wholeness, and that we are inspiring wholeness with our children. That's giving them some space to grow, and it's giving them space to feel that. And the best thing we can do as parents is heal ourselves. The best thing we can give the world is to heal ourselves. The most important thing that we could ever do on this planet while we're here is to come into our alignment and our wholeness and realize that we're healthy, we're healed, we're whole, and to be in our alignment, because everything you desire, every part of your soul that whispers to you at night when it's quiet, no one's listening, and says, oh, I want to write that book. I want to do teacher trainings. I want to travel the world. I really would love to be a healer. I'd really love to be an artist. I'd love to be a singer. Whatever it is, that whispering voice inside your soul, that is all that you're here to do, is to honor that, to honor whatever your heart, soul, and desire is, your soul mission. And as you do that as a mother, you are inspiring not only your children and your beloved, but you're inspiring everyone who's watching you. And that is the most important thing that we can put our focal point on, not feeling like we have to cater to our children, we have to cater to their needs. Oh, I got to go buy them some stuff. I love to buy my children things, but they know if they come and try to manipulate me, they get nothing. And I think at first it was hard on them, because when I was in my marriage where everything was just off, they got a lot of stuff when they would do that. And they'd manipulate both of us as parents, and they'd work us against each other. And kids are really smart. Like, they are quick. They know exactly what to do. And we have to be aware, and we have to stay in our power and not cater to the game. And it's the best thing we can do for them. It keeps them understanding integrity. It keeps them understanding safety. And like I said, it helps us teach them through our alignment. We teach them alignment. That's the best thing you could teach your child, is how to maintain and stay in their alignment, how to honor themselves. So I hope that answered your question, Kathy. Is there any other questions, Amnon?
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
And I know it's not going to make any difference today, currently, but if you could go back to when you were a little child with the knowledge you have today, what would you have done differently?
What would I have done differently? Well, I think I would have enjoyed my life a lot more. You know what I mean? And I do think that understanding, because I felt like I understood a lot as a child, but I had a lot to heal through how I took everything so personally. I think that's our main thing, is we can be very intelligent beings, but then we're taking everybody's stuff personally, and it really causes us to suffer. So I feel, personally, I think the things I'm doing now would have happened a lot sooner. I feel like the success that I'm now enjoying and it's coming to me would have happened much sooner, because I wouldn't have been so distracted by the suffering, and I wouldn't have felt so distracted by, I'm not enough, which was a huge obstacle in achieving anything that my soul wanted to achieve. So I would say that would have been a benefit, definitely. But at the same time, I feel that the way I went through it was so perfect to teach me deeply and to help me really understand it and grasp it through an experiential way, and then to be able to share that with others. So I don't really have any regrets, but I do feel it would have shifted my life. And I honestly, one thing I know, I love my children. I would hope I'd still be able to have the same children, but I would not have married that man. I just got to say it. Looking back, that was a lot of suffering. And if I would have understood self-love and alignment at age 17, it would have changed everything. It would have changed my focus. It would have changed me focusing on what really mattered to my soul, to my life. I would have not tolerated the abuse that I went through, because I would have known I was worthy. And so I feel like it would have changed a lot of things, actually. But the beauty of going through all that is I've connected with so many humans who have also struggled and betrayed themselves, and I love the fact that now through my awareness I can help others out of that darkness, and